You promise yourself you'll be disciplined this time. You really mean it. And then someone asks you about it in English. You say, I'll try. Not because you're unsure, not because you're lazy, but because that sentence feels safe. Inside, you're committed. Outside, you sound uncertain. This is where discipline quietly disappears. Not from your life, but from the conversation. In real life, discipline is action. You wake up early. You show up consistently. You finish what you start. But in English, discipline is language. Discipline is language. And the moment you say, I'll try, English translates that commitment differently than you expect. To you, I'll try means, I care. To the listener, it often sounds like, I might not follow through. That's the painful gap. You're not lying. You're not exaggerating. So, you're simply using a sentence that removes certainty from your identity. Compare these two sentences. I'll try to be more disciplined. I've decided to be more disciplined. Both may come from the same intention, but they do not create the same perception. English doesn't listen to intention. It listens to structure. And when structure is weak, discipline becomes invisible. This is why so many disciplined people feel misunderstood in English. They do the work. They keep promises to themselves. But their language leaks uncertainty. So discipline doesn't sound strong. It sounds optional. This video is not about becoming disciplined. It's about sounding disciplined in English without pretending, forcing confidence, or copying aggressive language. Because if your English makes you sound unsure, people don't see your effort. They see hesitation. And that changes everything. English doesn't judge your effort. It judges your signals. This is uncomfortable to hear, but essential to understand. English is a signal-based language. It pays attention to what your words suggest, not what you feel. When you say, I'm trying, English hears effort language. Language. Effort language focuses on struggle, intention, emotion. But disciplined English uses behavior language. It focuses on decisions, patterns, outcomes. Listen carefully to the difference. I'm trying to wake up earlier. I wake up earlier now. The first sentence explains effort. The second sentence shows behavior. And here's the critical truth most learners miss. They don't doubt your effort. They doubt your reliability. Not because they're rude. Not because they don't respect you. But because English associates discipline with predictability. Trying is emotional. Doing is predictable. In English-speaking cultures, predictability equals trust. So when you repeatedly describe your discipline using effort-based language, something subtle happens. People stop expecting consistency. They don't argue with you. They don't confront you. They don't confront you. They simply lower their expectations. That's dangerous, especially in work, leadership, or professional environments. This doesn't mean you should sound robotic or arrogant. It means you must choose sentences that reduce uncertainty for the listener. Discipline in English is not announced. It's demonstrated through phrasing. And the more you rely on "I'm trying," the more English quietly removes discipline from your identity. Have you ever replayed a conversation at night and thought, why did I say it like that? You meant discipline. You sounded unsure. This embarrassment is very specific and very common among advanced English learners. You know you're committed. You know you follow through. But your English doesn't reflect that. So you soften everything. I'm kind of trying. I'll see how it goes. I hope I can stay consistent. Not because you lack discipline, but because sounding strong feels uncomfortable. Here's the truth most people never say out loud. You're not being polite. You're afraid of sounding decisive. Mm. In many cultures, emotional explanation equals sincerity, but in English, clarity equals confidence. Native speakers don't need to hear your struggle. They need to understand your direction. Discipline-focused English removes emotional noise. Doesn't overshare. It doesn't apologize for commitment. It doesn't explain motivation. It simply reduces uncertainty. Ah. That's why disciplined English often feels quiet, almost boring. But boring is safe, and safe is trusted. Once you understand this, the embarrassment changes. You stop blaming yourself. You stop forcing confidence. You realize this isn't a personality problem. It's a language pattern problem. It's a language pattern problem. And patterns can be changed. Discipline feels heavy in English, even when it isn't. Many learners avoid disciplined language because it sounds cold, strict, or unfriendly. But that fear comes from misunderstanding how English interprets calm certainty. Discipline doesn't sound loud in English. It sounds quiet, and that's why it works. English values emotional control, not emotional expression. When you speak calmly and clearly, without justifying yourself, you signal stability. And stability is the foundation of discipline. Predictability equals trust. Trust equals authority. This is why emotional intensity often weakens discipline in English. Over-explaining sounds insecure. Over-promising sounds risky. Oversharing sounds unstable. Disciplined English removes excess emotion, not because emotions are bad, but because they're irrelevant to reliability. Once you accept this, discipline stops feeling scary. It starts feeling neutral, and neutrality is powerful. Native speakers don't avoid of wrong. They avoid it because it avoids ownership. In English, discipline is described, not defended. Instead of saying, I try to stay consistent, they say, I stick to a routine. I don't skip it. It's part of my schedule. These sentences don't sound emotional. They sound factual. That's the point. Ownership language removes negotiation. There's no debate, no uncertainty, and no uncertainty. Native speakers understand something deeply. If discipline is real, it doesn't need protection. So they don't soften it. They simply state it. Every sentence carries an identity. When you say, I try, English, here's someone experimenting. When you say, I stick to, English, here's someone reliable. This isn't grammar. This is identity signaling. Ask yourself one question. What kind of person does this sentence describe? I try to stay disciplined. Stick to what I decide. Same person. Different identity. By the end of this video, you won't be learning motivation. You'll be learning how disciplined people sound. Because once your English reflects who you already are, you don't need to prove discipline anymore. You simply speak, and it's understood. And it's understood. Have you ever noticed how disciplined people talk about their routines and how instantly reliable it makes them sound? I go for a run every morning. Finish my work before lunch. Right? Review my tasks at 6 p.m. Simple, direct, factual, trusted. Trusted, T. Contrast this with typical learner phrases. Weak. I try to exercise every morning. Strong. I exercise every morning. The difference is subtle but profound. I try signals effort and uncertainty. I exercise signals reliability and identity. Let's expand this to multiple daily routines. Morning, I wake up at 6:30 a.m. versus I try to wake up early. Work, I send emails before 9 a.m. versus I try to check emails early. Meals, I eat lunch at 1 p.m. Vias Kaisia, lunch on time versus I've run 5 km every morning. Is why I try to run sometimes. Study. I practice English for 30 minutes every day. Versus I try to practice English. A colleague said, I'll try to complete the report by Friday. Management interpreted it as unreliable. Later, he switched to, I'll complete the report by Friday. The result? A. Respect, trust, predictability. Why English favors factual statements. English is a signal-based language. Listeners interpret certainty as reliability. Effort language, like idiocy or I hope, triggers doubt, even if the action happens. Culturally, direct statements signal competence and reduce unnecessary social negotiation. Pick 3 daily actions and rewrite them in factual, disciplined English. I drink water in the morning. I drink water in the morning. I check my calendar at 8 a.m. I write for 30 minutes every evening. Notice how your English suddenly communicates control, identity, and trust. Discipline isn't only about what you do. It's about what you choose not to do. Saying no politely, yet firmly, is a superpower in English. Common mistakes learners make over apologizing. I'm really sorry. I'll try hedging. I think I can. Giving too many explanations. I have work. Maybe I can fit it, but I'm not sure. A friend invited me to help on a side project. Weak. I'll try to help if I can. Right arrow result. I got blamed for delays. Disciplined. I'm unable to take this on right now. I need to focus on current priorities. Right arrow result. Respect. Understanding. Trust intact. 1. Social events. I'm unable to attend tonight. Thank you for inviting. 2. Family requests. I can't help this weekend. I have prior commitments. 3. Casual chats. I'm focusing on work right now. Can we catch up later? Use short sentences. Pauses, calm tone. Avoid emotional words. Stick to facts. Word choice matters. I'm unable. I can't. I'll try. This small adjustment shows disciplined English in action. It communicates reliability, prioritization, and self-control. How do disciplined people explain failure? And why does English favor them? Before. I tried, but I couldn't. A right arrow emotional scattered. After. The report wasn't completed because I prioritized client X. I've reorganized my schedule to finish it next week. Right arrow factual, controlled, solution focused. 1. Work. The presentation was delayed due to unexpected data errors. I adjusted the plan to complete it by Friday. 2. School. I missed the deadline because of overlapping assignments. I've rearranged my schedule to submit next. 3. Personal project. I couldn't finish my book this week due to travel. I've set aside evenings to catch up. CPVP had shit. Emotional contrast. Apologetic vias structured English. Learners often feel anxious using factual statements. Native-like phrasing reduces emotional load and maintains credibility. Pauses before the solution, right arrow shows calm. Neutral posture, steady tone, right arrow reinforces reliability. Avoid fidgeting or rush delivery. Tip: use cause right arrow effect, right arrow solution, right arrow follow-up. English signals discipline through clarity and structured explanation. Time anchors English perception of reliability. People trust you when you communicate clearly about when things happen. Work. I submit reports by 5 p.m. Study. I study English from 6-7 p.m. Personal life. I go to bed at 10 p.m. A student said, I'll try to be on time. He was late repeatedly. Switch to I arrive at 8 a.m. Result, colleagues trusted him instantly. E start tasks immediately after meetings. I take breaks at scheduled times. I check messages at 9 a.m. I review tasks every evening. Combine timing with tone. Calm, firm, deliberate. Gestures. Nod once per key point. Avoid hedging words like a maybe or a try. Time statements plus calm delivery equals disciplined English identity. Every small interaction is an opportunity to show disciplined English. 1. Instant decisions. I'll handle this task immediately. 2. Email replies. I'll send the document by 4 p.m. 3. Short updates. I've completed my assigned section. Weak phrasing. I'll try to finish this soon. Right arrow confusion. Follow-ups. Disciplined phrasing. I will finish this by 5 p.m. Right arrow clear expectations. Trust. Step 1. Decide exact phrasing. Step 2. Speak slowly, pause at commitment. Step 3. Keep posture upright, hands visible. Reflection for learners. Identify 3 daily interactions to practice disciplined phrasing. Your words shape others' perception of you. How do you know you're being trusted? Observing reactions, nods, smiles, brief confirmations, right arrow, positive trust signals, hesitations, repeated clarifications, right arrow, doubt, mini examples. 1. 1. Weak. I'll try to handle this. Right arrow, colleague frowns, repeats, question. 2. Disciplined. I'll handle this by 3 p.m. Right arrow, colleague nods, stops asking. Why English favors disciplined phrasing? The brain interprets clear, factual statements as competence and reliability. Indirect, hedged language signals uncertainty. Exercise. Next week, in 3 interactions, deliver factual phrases and observe reactions. Verbal cues, posture, engagement. Note the difference. Have you ever noticed that people who always sound reliable don't just talk about feelings, they communicate decisions? I remember sitting in a Monday morning meeting. My team was discussing deadlines. I said, emotionally, I'm worried I might not finish the report on time. Colleagues nodded politely, but I could feel subtle doubt. Eyes shifted. Posture relaxed slightly, but the air was uncertain. I noticed that my emotional phrasing made my competence invisible. Later, I rephrased. I will finish the report by 5 p.m. My plan is to start with Section A at 10 a.m. and Section B by 2 p.m. Immediate change. Colleagues leaned forward, asked no follow-ups, and the meeting flowed smoothly. Trust came instantly, not because I felt confident, but because I communicated decisions clearly. Emotional. I'm trying to organize my tasks. Right arrow decision-based. I've scheduled my tasks and will complete them in order. Emotional. They hope I can call you later. Emotional. I hope I can call you later. Right arrow decision-based. I will call you at 4 p.m. Emotional. Feel stressed about this project. Right arrow decision-based. I've allocated 2 hours to finish this project today. Why emotional English reduces credibility? English is signal-based. It communicates reliability through factual statements and clear decisions, not through feelings. Emotional statements signal intention, but leave others uncertain about action. Decision-based English reduces doubt. Rewrite 5 emotional sentences from your day into decision-based statements. Speak them aloud. Notice how your tone and posture reinforce the message. Learners often think effort is enough. In English, action communicates trust, while emotion alone does not. Recognizing this distinction is the first step toward disciplined, professional communication. In Textgeda, why do some people sound calm even under pressure while others panic? The secret isn't confidence. is how they structure their English. During a client call, I nervously said, "I'm worried we might miss the deadline." The client paused, nod. The client nod. But the trust was not fully there. I corrected myself. "I've reorganized our tasks to meet the deadline. Section A will finish by 2 p.m., Section B by 4 p.m. The client immediately smiled, took notes confidently, and asked no follow-up questions. The calm phrasing made my internal focus visible externally. Structure calm sentences for emails, calls, or casual conversation. Keep pauses after commitments. "I will finish this by 4 p.m. Pause, Eve planned each step carefully. Match tone and gestures with calm phrasing. Relaxed shoulders, measured pace, hands neutral. Why calm English works. Culturally, English speakers perceive calm, decision-driven statements as authority. Emotional statements, even polite ones, can signal hesitation. Calm English communicates control, reliability, and professionalism. Each day, take 3 emotional statements you naturally say aloud and rephrase them calmly with decisions. Pair with deliberate pauses and neutral body language. Separating internal emotion from external communication is critical. Calm English allows you to maintain credibility under pressure, while emotional English can reduce your perceived reliability. Discipline isn't just about doing tasks, it's about communicating priorities clearly. How you express priorities in English directly affects how others perceive your reliability. During a group project, I initially said, "I'll try to work on Section B after finishing Section A." My teammates nodded politely, but frequently followed up, checking my progress. Checking my progress. Communicate them in English using short factual sentences paired with calm tone and deliberate pauses. Observe colleagues' reactions. Learners often focus only on major commitments. Yet, discipline is communicated in every small sentence, every "I will" versus "is occur." Mastering micro decisions makes English sound reliable and professional. Feeling frustrated or anxious in English, the difference between sounding emotional and sounding disciplined is in how you frame your words. So, I remember a meeting where I wanted to express disappointment. "I'm upset that the report wasn't ready." Colleagues nodded, but trust subtly slipped. I reframed, "I will follow up tomorrow to ensure the report is ready." Calm, factual, controlled, immediate shift. The manager smiled. Confidence returned, not in my feelings, but in my decisions. Emotional. I feel stressed about the deadline. Right arrow decision. Right arrow decision. I will adjust my schedule to finish this task tomorrow morning. Casual chat. Emotional. I'm worried I won't manage everything. Right arrow decision. I have planned tasks in order and will complete them on time. English prioritizes decisions over emotions. Communicating decisions signals reliability and competence, while emotions alone leave others uncertain. Professionals who frame emotions as decisions are perceived as disciplined and trustworthy. Take 5 emotional statements you naturally say in English. Rewrite them as decision-based sentences. Practice aloud with calm tone, deliberate pauses, and neutral gestures. Notice how confidence changes perception. Framing emotions as decisions is more than grammar. It's a mindset shift. Each transformation reinforces discipline, enhances trust, and positions English as a tool for conveying reliability. Have you noticed how small statements in English can make you appear reliable or not? Discipline isn't just about big achievements. It lives in dailies, in dailies, in dailies, in daily language. I remember one morning, an urgent email landed from my manager requesting a report. My instinct was to write, "I'll try to send it later." But I paused. I thought about clarity and reliability. Then I wrote, "I will send the report by 3 p.m. and notify you when it's done." Calmly, I said, "I will complete it by 5 p.m. and update you once it's finished." His eyebrows relaxed, nods followed, and I realized my words had diffused tension. Other surprise situations. Client email, unexpected data request, right arrow emotional. I hope I can send this soon. Work, emotional. I'll try to finish slides. Right arrow reliable. I will submit slides by 2 p.m. Social, emotional. I might come to dinner. Right arrow reliable. I will join at 7 p.m. Family, emotional. And 7 p.m. Family, emotional. I hope to help. Right arrow reliable. I will help after lunch. Discipline in English reduces doubt.